I'm Dr. Roush.
I'm Grace.
I'm Solomon.
And today we're going to be playing the Battle of Alesia simulation. All right. Give it a second for that. So the historical background for this simulation, the Romans were assisting Gallic tribes in pushing out Germanic tribes that were encroaching on their territory. And because of this, positive connections began to develop between the Romans and the Gauls. For example, the Gauls soon developed a taste for Roman wine. Good stuff. But the Romans were clearly gaining in power and acting like they were in charge, which is, the Romans like to do. And so the Gauls rose up in 58 B.C. and massacred Roman civilians in the area, which was maybe a bit of an overreaction, especially considering who they were dealing with. So a Gallic rising had thus begun, and the Romans are going to launch their own invasion. And this is a game where you break into pairs, with one student playing Julius Caesar, representing the Romans, and one student playing Vercingetorix representing the Gauls. So we have Vercingetorix right there, yes, and Julius Caesar right there. Okay. So the mechanics in this game, there will be times I will call a battle check. The Gauls will roll 6d6, and the Romans will roll 4d10. Note that a 0 on a d10 is a 10, not a 0. So that is a good number. In this game, you want to roll high. So a 0 is not a 0, it is a 10. Each dice with a result of at least 5 counts as a success. Whoever has the most successes wins and gains a victory counter. Those are those little counters there in the middle. And you may notice on your board there's a little failure and success chart. If there's ever a tie, if you ever have the same number of successes, just roll again. All right, so you may notice at the bottom of your chart, or success table, there's A, B, C, and D. If I'm going to ask you a question, if you answer it correctly, you gain a victory counter. And you would need to just label your answer cover, the one you think is correct, either A, B, C, or D. So, which of the following statement best describes the Jewish revolt? A, the Romans were defeated, leading to the establishment of a new Jewish kingdom. B, the Romans crushed the revolt, but are allowed to worship at the temple to continue in order to avoid future revolts. Or C, the Romans crushed the revolt and rededicated the temple to the worship of Jupiter. Or D, the Romans crushed the revolt and destroyed the temple. And the answer is D. If you got that right, give yourself a victory counter. So there's going to be a battle in a place called Vigen between Caesar and Vercingetorix. That will, in particular, destroy Vercingetorix's cavalry, and it forces him to have to retreat into a fortress in a place called Alesia, which is kind of a town on top of a mountain. Sorry, I had a bad slide.
I'm trying so hard to remember the answers.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wouldn't do papers now. I don't want to make Vercingetorix look bad on here.
Okay, so one thing that's going to happen now is the Romans, being Roman engineers, they are going to do something kind of funny, right? They're going to build a wall around the town to try to keep Vercingetorix in there to defend themselves against any attempt to sally. But they also know Vercingetorix has a lot of friends, a lot of relatives, they're coming with reinforcements, so they build a second wall protecting them from behind, right? So they're living in between these two walls. Now, Vercingetorix, are you going to sit there and let them build those walls? Of course not. So, you're going to do something about it, not quite yet. Please draw a card, just one card. One of you draw a card and read it out to us.
Auspicious omen for the Romans. Romans gain 1 victory counter.
All right. So,
The gods are on our side.
So make a battle check. Your Gauls, Vercingetorix, you're going to have to try and disrupt the Romans from making their walls. Julius Caesar, you're trying to defend your walls.
Come on.
Ooh.
Oh, a narrow Roman victory, it looks like. Okay.
No, I had 1
So
success.
the Romans, oh my gosh. You had 2?
Yeah, had two.
Two. So if the Romans win, you managed to build 2 strong walls. You, Vercingetorix, I'm sorry, you're kind of stuck in there.
The gods were in our favor. What can I say?
So give yourself a victory counter for that. All right. Why was the Roman Empire split into 2? A, in order to defend the empire against the rise of Islam. B, for better administration. C, in order to prevent feuding between the Optimates and the Populari. Or D, the Empress gave birth to twins, so when they became adults, they were each given half. I think we're going to have a lot of these where both of you get the answer correct.
No pressure.
No pressure, yeah. Okay, so Vercingetorix, you are going to attempt to sneak out messengers in hopes of getting reinforcements. But first, let's draw a card to see how things go.
Inspiring leadership for the Romans. During the next battle check, 4s count as successes as well. So anything higher than a 4 is a success instead of a 5.
Wow. All right, so roll your battle check. Are you going to be able to intercept those messengers? Or are they going to get through?
Oh, the gods are not on my side today.
Yeah.
I got
Overwhelming victory.
4 1s,
Ooh.
1 2, and 1 6.
Well, that's one more success than the Romans had.
No, they had all successes.
Am I reading it? Oh, I'm reading it wrong.
You got to flip it. It's all successes.
Oh my goodness, those poor messengers did not
They didn't make it.
stand a chance. Oh goodness. All right. So you managed to stop the messengers. All right. Which was a problem, was not a problem faced by the Roman Empire as discussed in class. A, they had a lot of territory to defend. B, the wealthy were able to avoid paying taxes. C, they were devastated by an early form of the bubonic plague. Or D, the empire was under pressure from the Germanic peoples, i.e. the barbarians, my ancestors. What's that? It was C. It was C. All right, so both of you don't have a whole lot of food, right? There's not a lot of food in between 2 walls. There's not a lot of food just in the city. So both of you are going to send out foraging parties to obtain food. But first, draw a card.
Let's see it. Inspiring leadership for the Gauls. During the next battle check, 4s also count as successes for the Gauls.
Excellent. So go ahead and make your battle check.
I think these dice are rigged.
Oh no.
So that's 3 on my side.
I've got 5 failures and 1 success.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
That is a guard
Okay, so the Romans, you managed to obtain food, whereas the Gauls are kind of struggling. Okay, what events marked the fall of the Western Roman Empire as discussed in class? A, the suicide last Emperor Romulus Augustus, following his defeat in battle by a rival claimant to the throne. B, the suicide last Emperor Romulus Augustus, following his defeat in battle by the barbarians. C, the burning Rome and murder of the last Emperor Romulus Augustus. Or D, the sacking of Rome and abdication of the last Emperor Romulus Augustus. Has something to do with Romulus Augustus.
You don't say.
And the answer was D. And you were talking about...
I couldn't remember which sack. There's like 5 sacks of Rome. So it's like, my mind went to the first one, where they caught part of the split in the first place.
It was funny because Grace was mentioning her favorite names. And Romulus Augustus is kind of a fun one.
Oh,
because
yeah.
They were really trying to, let's rekindle the ancient Roman magic by naming this guy Romulus Augustus.
Yeah.
That's why I remembered it, because it was ironic to me that the guy named Romulus Augustus was the last emperor who had to abdicate.
All right. So you have a decision to make, Vercingetorix. You have very little food. If you keep the civilians in your camp, there'll be less food, of course. But if you expel them, then you'll have more food to be able to hold out longer. But it will, if you decide to allow them to stay in, it will cost you a victory counter.
I'm going to say, as Vercingetorix, if I win the long-term battle, less people will die. So unfortunately, I'm going to expel the civilians.
Okay, so
As
you do not lose a counter. So that leaves you with a problem, Caesar. Do you let them through your lines, and go get food, or do you trap them in the no man's land between your walls and their fortress? Keeping in mind, if you let them through your lines, there's less food for you, and you would lose a victory counter.
Vercingetorix is the final target. I'll let them through.
Oh wow! So you lose 1 victory counter, but you did. I think you're the first person in the history of this game. Like I'm not kidding. Everyone always is just like, yeah, just let the civilians die.
I think I last time let them live, and then I lost
Okay.
because it was a difference of 1 victory counter.
no.
So
It did
unfortunately,
make a difference.
Mhm.
So which of the following statements best describes Roman family life? A. The Roman father was very powerful, but unlike the Greeks, did not have the right to abandon children. B. The Roman father was very powerful and even had the right to abandon children. C. Roman fathers had power over sons and Roman mothers over daughters. Or D. Roman fathers and mothers shared power in the family equally. The answer was B.
The unfortunate practice of just leaving a child on a rock and let nature take care of it.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Okay. So draw a card.
It's your-
See what's in it.
Roman reinforcements. I gain an extra success for the next battle check.
Excellent. It is rigged.
Great.
Okay, so the Gauls, you're not tired. Things are going bad for you. You know you got to make something happen. So you're going to launch a night attack. Hopefully that won't mess up the Romans. So have a battle check.
Please. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, look good.
This is.
Are you kidding me?
I've got 4 total.
Oh my gosh, I only saw.
I have only 1 success again. Every single.
This isn't how numbers are supposed to work.
No.
Well, if it's a 5.
Oh.
It's a 5 or better on a 4-sided die, on a 6-sided die.
Right, but you should get at least 2, right?
Logically.
I mean, that's a purely statistical average, yeah, but that doesn't mean the reality.
Oh yeah, but you're statistically doing really well.
Yeah.
You should only get half, right? Because it's set so that both of you should get like 2.
Mhm.
Maybe.
It's supposed to be fairly easy.
It gives it I almost like to feel like a guard player.
Which statement best describes who Boudica was? A. The Roman general who successfully suppressed the Jewish revolt. B. The Roman general who successfully conquered Britain. C. A British queen who initially supported the Romans, but who rebelled against them after she and her daughters were treated cruelly. Or D. A British queen who opposed the Roman invasion of Britain. It was C.
She was one of the figures we learned about that I
Alrighty.
was most interested by.
So, draw a card. Let's see what happens in this next battle.
Gallic reinforcements. Gauls gain 1 additional success during the next battle check.
Alrighty.
Let's go.
So, another Gallic army has arrived, and so you could hit the Romans from both sides, front and back. So go ahead, Gauls. Let's see if you can win this. Win one.
Please. Are these dice weighted?
I mean, they are cheap Amazon dice. You know,
So they're probably not balanced,
Probably not
right?
balanced. So there is
No.
a chance.
One again, I got 1 success. And one of these counts as a success because of the card that I just drew.
Right?
It's still 3 to 2.
So it's still 4.
3 to 2, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Okay, so now it's time for the final battle. So in the final battle, first of all, we need to draw your card to see what the gods are saying for this
Bad
battle.
weather. Only dice that count as 6 or better. Or that goes for both of us.
Right, but
So it's got to be
not
6
good.
or better.
It's really bad for the Gauls.
Yeah, that's very bad news.
So
Oh.
now what's different here is you roll your regular dice, count successes, and then add victory counters to your final total. Whoever has the highest final battle score wins. I sense that this was not an ideal situation.
Even if it was, it doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
7 victory counters, it doesn't make much of a difference, unfortunately.
I have 6 failures
Oh.
and 0 successes.
That's right. I forgot it's on 6s, so I don't have any success either. I just have more momentum, I guess, is the way to put
Fair.
it.
Yeah.
We've been doing well enough so long
Exactly.
that it was doomed.
Well, I mean, that often is what happens in a battle. Is whoever makes the least mistakes wins, right? Like it's not
Especially in like a little bit later on in the early medieval ages, purely momentum. You can go all the way if you're just willing to keep going.
Yep, exactly.
I actually that did bad on purpose so it would be historically accurate for the purpose of
Very
There you
good.
go.
Your-
Exactly.
Your dedication to history is an impressive thing.
Thank you.
So the let's see. So, of course, what happens is, though, Grace, you nobly, or I should say, Vercingetorix, you nobly surrender yourself to Caesar in hopes that he will be merciful. He's somewhat merciful to your people, but you are sent to Rome, paraded through the streets, and then publicly strangled. So, I'm sorry. And things go pretty well for you for a while, Caesar.
For a little bit. There's an impending barbarian coming over the horizon that'll come to get me eventually.
Right.
Eventually.
Yep. And then, there's beware the Ides of March. Right? Be careful.
Yeah.
Going to find out who your friends are.
Surely that will have no consequences.
Yep.
No, of course not.
So, did you want? We have some. Well, let's. Did you want to run through? We can run through very quickly again if you want to switch sides, and we just want to do the multiple choice because we've already done this.
Watch it this time. I fail all of them.
Follow me. Swap sides.
We'll find out. It's
Change sides.
Oh, should I
What's
just
that
replace
from?
the cards or?
Wii Sports.
Wii Sports. That's
Well, whenever you go through everybody in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that's the song that's been stuck in my head for eon.
Here, shuffled the cards the best I can.
Alright.
Shuffle the dice. No, my kids and I were playing a lot of Wii Sports.
I mean,
and baseball.
I need to.
basically everyone did if you can afford one.
Oh, I need to get myself a Wii for the dorm. I think.
Get a Wii U if they're available. They're very available.
Wii U is fantastic. Okay, so we don't have. We'll just run through kind of quickly. So we are at the. And one thing I realized I should do is I need to actually separate this and have you draw the card, and then I announce the event. It's kind of anticlimactic to say, "Here's the event, draw a card, and then resolve the event." So,
okay. Do you want to
wonder
redo?
if it's
Okay, perfect.
I'll fix it later. When I do the classroom instruction.
Gotcha.
So, this way that our viewers can hear our process. So, you've got Caesar. You have got Vercingetorix surrounded on the mountain fortress of Alesia, or I should say, hill fortress. You're building your walls, and the Gauls are going to attempt to stop you. So please draw a card, and then roll your battle check.
Loss of leader Gauls. You lose a victory counter, but you have none to lose. Well, no, neither of us have one to lose.
Right. So you got
no difference.
unlucky. I'm not sure. In any case, make your battle check.
Fiber. Ooh. I got a 9, and then 2 10s because
There
the
you go.
zeros are 10s.
Yep.
And 1 2.
Alright, that's one success on your end. Victory for the Romans.
Oh, the Romans have won. They win their first one. Excellent. Alrighty. So go ahead and draw another card.
Let's do it. Inspiring leadership for the Romans, of course, naturally. During the next battle check, 4s also count as successes for the Romans.
Excellent. Alright. Well, the Gauls are trying to sneak out messengers seeking reinforcements. Romans, let's see if you can stop them.
No. Oh, there's one kind of in the corner. Between 2, I'll roll that just to be fair.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have helped anyway. That
That was a 5, yeah.
No, it was a 5 after I nudged it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be. I think it was a 3.
Uh-oh.
I'll be honest. And then I won 10.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Victory for the Gauls.
The Gauls are on the board now.
Finally.
Alright, so please draw your card.
Auspicious omen. The Gauls gain a victory counter.
Oh no! I thought it was
The Gauls are on the Gaul sides now instead of the Romans.
Alright, so both of you are sending out foraging parties seeking to obtain food, so go ahead and roll on.
7, a 6, 8, and a 4.
Tie.
Ooh.
Okay, so re-roll. I'm not sure who to cheer for.
Oof.
5, 7.
You got me.
I got you on that one.
Yep. Victory for the Romans.
Oh, wow. It's a close one, though. Okay, so the Romans were able to get the food. Alright, so Vercingetorix, you have your choice to make. Do you expel the civilians, or do you let them to stay and lose 1 victory counter?
Let them stay because I can't afford to lose any more victory counters.
Oh, if you
No, if you let them stay, then they
Okay,
lose
because
their victory
that's
counter.
not what that says. Is do you expel them and lose 1?
Oh, you're right. Oh my God.
It's backwards.
You are correct.
Oh, good catch.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think that's what threw me off with the Roman one too.
I see.
But
catch.
Okay.
in that case, but yeah, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to expel them.
Okay, so you lose a victory counter then?
Do you keep them?
If you keep them,
You still, yeah, you.
Do you expel them?
Okay. In that case, yes, I will expel. I'm sorry, the wording's throwing me off again.
right, I was like, yeah, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
When I do the classroom instruction.
In that case, yes, I'm going to expel them and keep my victory.
Okay, excellent. Caesar, there's all these women and children and old
Of course,
old people.
I'm an honourable man, and I will lose one victory.
Oh my gosh!
For the greater good.
Wow, that was very generous.
I need to. It wasn't verse and generous.
Oh my gosh!
I'm Julius
I think
Caesar.
this is purely just a game design note. Maybe put a benefit that isn't clear at first, like, oh, if you let them go, there's some benefit down the line.
Well, I mean, sometimes I do that, and here I just wanted it to be like, sometimes there's a cost to being a good person. And
That's fair. And it's one of those things that, like, it's one of those things that, but at this point, it makes it so that no one would ever do. No one's going to do it outside of the role play purposes.
Because I'm a kind and
Well,
generous.
Yeah, for the role play purposes.
What I found is that like people will start metagaming.
Yeah, of course.
And they assume that they're just like, Dr. Rush will always reward us if we do the right thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's like,
It's the cycle of metagaming that you end up
It's
with.
crazy.
no, it's tricky, but all right. So the Gauls are going to launch their night attack, so please draw a card and make a battle check.
I got you. Inspiring leadership for the Gauls during your next battle check. Your 4s also count as successes. 6. I have a 6 and then a 7.
Alright, I got 4 successes, so I think
the
that
rest.
Holy
that
cow.
wins. The Gauls are finally winning.
Wait, the 4 isn't a success, is it? Did you get
For the inspired
Okay.
leadership.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I have the magic dice touch, I guess.
Okay, so draw your card.
Alright. Gaelic reinforcements. The Gauls gain an extra success.
All right, so the Gaelic army arrives and coordinated attack is launched. Have your battle check.
7, 5, 3, tie.
Yep.
Wait, did you get an extra?
I didn't
Okay,
count an extra, so
gotcha.
yeah, I guess that's a success for the Gauls again.
Oh my gosh.
It
No,
was?
that's a
No.
tie.
It was a tie.
With adding
add your
add the
numbers over.
reinforcements on top of that.
Oh my gosh.
It was
The
good.
Gaelics turned the tide, I
Wow. Alrighty. So we're at the final battle
Uh-huh.
where you roll your successes and add. Or I'm sorry, draw a card first.
Yeah,
Draw
draw
your
a
successes. Come on,
Oh,
go.
yeah, sorry.
You're fine. Roman reinforcements, that's what I'm talking about.
Very good.
Romans gain 1 additional success during the next battle check. That's what I'm talking about.
Very good. Come on.
I need to roll at least 2 successes and I win no matter what you roll.
Uh-oh.
And then I gain 1 additional. So I have all successes. I have
We're
4.
tied. I have 5 total when you add in the victory counters, and you have 5 with the adding in the victory counters.
So you have to re-roll.
Yeah, it's a
Just
reroll.
down to
I
the-
literally. Yeah. You just have to
4?
get no successes and then I win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like down to the wire. I have to completely whiff
Please.
about that.
Oh.
Bad news.
That was a 9, that's a
Did
5.
the Romans lose?
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah. Good game.
GG.
Good try. Good try.
Good
So,
game.
you know, if that was counterfactual, but you know, the Vercingetorix, you know, you get to have your not
Yep.
to say little, but very large Gallic kingdom, and the Roman
Yep.
Empire is going to stay a lot smaller. Caesar will never seize power. Maybe he will live to a ripe old age,
Yeah,
unless he dies in the battle. I deserve
I'll
that.
never get a salad
He'll
window.
never get salad.
as with so much in history, nothing is ever certain.
Exactly. So, I had some reflection questions
Ooh.
to ask you, so to discuss. So, Grace, did you win or lose?
Well, I apparently did not sacrifice the right number of chickens, apparently.
Well, you don't
because-
sacrifice the chickens.
Yeah.
You feed them.
That is true. That's probably why.
You're like the guy that threw them in the water.
Uh-huh, exactly right.
You don't want to
So
eat when you're living.
Upset the gods in some way, and I did decently well when I was a Roman, but he just kind of rolled better. And when I was a Gaul, I don't think I won a singular round.
Right? Why
so-
do you think you didn't?
The dice. I think I was definitely at a disadvantage trying to roll a 5 or higher when it's 6-sided
Okay.
versus trying to roll a 5 or higher when it's a 50-50
Yeah, I
chance.
think it's like statistically closer, but like one more dice for the Gaul would be just enough to tip that little bit for the Gauls, because the issue is that the odds are close but not quite identical, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Romans have a advantage just a little bit, but
And
enough to make a difference.
And that was kind of gaming principle. They want to make it so the Romans should win most of the time, but they can't win every time.
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
See,
Yeah.
I'm showing the game how
Right,
all scenarios should play out.
And how about you?
So I mean, I won twice, and I think a little bit of it is, again, the dice combination of, the Romans do a little better, and I just happen to roll fairly hot on these. And then I think a little bit is just the second time I opted to not let the civilians leave and drop a victory point.
Right.
But that's a little bit of a case of I've done it already, so I kind of had foreknowledge of what was going to happen, which helps.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that was my problem. I was too charitable as a person.
There goes with that metagaming thing we were
Right,
discussing
right,
about.
right.
That,
Yeah.
do it up. Even if it wasn't my initial thought, it's something subconscious of like, why would I do that if I know there's no point?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because there shouldn't be a reward to being a good person. You should just
I mean,
do it.
yeah, if you were there on the ground, maybe, but
Right. No, I mean,
when there's
what
no
was-
stakes like
what
in a
would
game,
Marcus
it's hard.
Aurelius say?
Exactly.
Right? Like that's. But one thing, how did and just to think about too, how did the cards impact you?
Can I look at?
Sure, yeah.
Let's see. So this is good for Gauls. This is bad for both of us. That's good for the Romans. Good for the Romans. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for me. Good for me. So it's equal actually. That's kind of surprising.
It's basically just throwing an extra round of variables in the mix of
It's statistically, or it's likely.
That being said, this one is far more punishing to the Gauls than it is to the
That is true.
to the Romans, because
Right.
you have that gives you still 4 spots on the dice where you can succeed, as
And
opposed to only 1 on the Gauls. So yeah, bad weather's a whole lot more of an
the
issue.
cards add a lot of depth to the game, in my opinion, and they are, save for the bad weather,
Yeah,
really equal. I think each one has a reinforcement, a loss of leader, inspiring leadership. Yeah, they're equal.
Yeah.
But
if you
just
were going for
chance.
balance, maybe throw in a second weather card for like good weather.
Oh, right. To help them.
So they put it on to 4s, and that way, it still benefits the Romans a little bit more, but it's a bigger increase for the Gauls.
Right.
Yeah.
My thinking was also just in the game that you played. It seemed like that first game that every single card benefited the Romans.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Or hurt
that's
the Gauls.
So
Like
each
that
one
was-
has a counterpart, which I think is really important.
That's we just found down to shuffling the deck, right?
And I think a lot of it was just sometimes things
Chance.
break your way and sometimes they don't, and that's what I was
And
trying
that's also
in there.
really true for historical battles.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it was just as something as simple of a pop, technically not a pothole, but like a snake hole or something,
Mhm.
to break a horse's leg and mess up the initial charge. It's very little things.
What was his name? When Cortez, when he made that last-ditch suicide charge against the Aztecs, and that turned the entire thing towards them.
Right. Yep.
It's the little things that can change the course of history. If I want to be really dramatic about it. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what would you say you learned from this simulation, pretending that you had not played it before?
I learned about how awesome the name Vercingetorix is.
Right. And that's
Which I'm
just
going to start with. But it also gave me a lot more context about the threats that Julius Caesar faced. Because when you think of Julius Caesar, the thing you think about is his assassination. And obviously he's
The
very
Ripper,
important. Yeah, but I feel like as important as this was, it's kind of lost in the wayside because of the other more culturally prominent things that he did. So it gave me some insight onto stuff that isn't that well known among the general population.
This has direct knock-on effects of what comes after, because part of the reason he was able to cross the Rubicon is because he was happy and successful for coming back from beating the Gauls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you think he had a shot. If he had come back in defeat, he may not have had that shot to try.
And then who knows how that would have changed literally everything.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And part of it too, I just wanted to give people, because I just think I wanted people to have some experience with an ancient battle, especially one as wacky that you've got 2 walls.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
and I think it's great.
Yeah. it shows the Romans and their engineering.
Uh-huh.
And
And their dramatics.
And if you think to the events, one thing I was also going for was that how important food was, like the actual supply of an army.
Yes.
This becomes a super big issue, and also how they didn't really care that much for human rights. It was
I
just
mean,
like,
yeah.
And it's interesting whenever in a lot of like popular media, like books and movies and stuff, with all these huge armies marching everywhere, you very rarely see them being fed or eating or having food. It's just something you don't consider a lot of the time,
Yeah,
and it's crazy important.
Which is really impressive stuff there. Like on Hawk Creek, it took the Romans at their peak were able to build a fort with a single legion, with a single cohort in 17 days.
That's
Enough space to house an entire cohort's worth of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
The
a
Romans
cohort.
were
It's not a century.
no.
It might have been a century. Whatever's the legion is broken up into sections, and it's one step down from that. They can house one of those in 17
And
days.
do you remember how many are in those? Like rough estimate.
I think it is like I think it's a little one step up from the. I think it's it goes squad, squad, team, cohort, century, and then I think it's one step. I think decurion, and then there's like another step, and then you get to the legion. I don't remember. Yeah, that's the thing. It's been a while.
I'm
since I've
trying
looked at
to
this.
think back to middle school when I read the sequel to Percy Jackson.
Oh
They
yeah.
briefly went over that. I don't know. At the most accurate historical source, you know.
Clearly, yeah. This is something I went into the rabbit hole years ago
Works for me.
about.
I mean, hey, if you remember it. But yeah,
So, and then how were the Romans and Gauls different in terms of the dice they rolled?
we talked
Why
about
was
this
there that
briefly.
difference?
For the Romans, if a success is 5, when I roll this, I have a 50. Statistically, it would say I have a 50-50 chance of. Well, that worked perfectly, actually, for the sake of that argument. It's about a 50-50 coin flip of if it's a success or a failure. On the other hand, your odds are 2 to 3.
Yeah, for the Gauls, it's 2 to 3, and in theory, giving them 2 more dice so they have 6 dice would notionally make it the same. But if this is me because I looked at the dice statistics a long time ago. It's like it's close, but not quite the same. It's just a little bit more that it gives the Romans a slight edge. Not a lot, but combined with not taking as difficult. Them losing, the bad weather, for example, is not as much of an issue for the Gauls, for the Romans, as it is for the Gauls. And things like, say, losing a success or getting an extra success is a bigger deal for the Romans than it is for the Gauls, because the Gauls have six chances as opposed to 4 chances.
Right.
Little things like that,
And so why do you think I made that decision?
So it would, more often than not, if you play this game like 10 times, you would think the Romans would win more often than the Gauls.
Right. That's part of it.
It's close enough that it's not rigged, for as much as I complained about it when I was a Gaul.
Yeah.
It's not rigged, but the odds are tilted.
Right.
But not to the point where it's a guaranteed win or a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, like if you were to play this game 100 times, it would be like a 50-50 for the Romans. It's 55 for the Romans, 45 for the Gauls. Not a big difference, but a little bit.
And why
enough
historically?
to be noticeable.
What would be the historical rationalization? Like, why would Romans roll fewer but better dice?
I would argue because they, I think Roman soldiers are kind of well known for being incredibly well trained and well disciplined, and they have very, very high quality equipment.
Right.
And
Well,
I'd argue
a little bit less at this time because, like, people when they think Roma, they think of the Roman centuries with the full set of armor and all that. This is a good couple about 20, 50 years before that. So there's still where there's your Roman soldier there.
The legionnaires still are kind of difficult to take
the
out.
legions didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Really, they were as an organization. I believe they existed, but not as what we think of. Like if you look at it there, he's wearing fabric. He's got greaves. I think he's got a breastplate and he's got a helmet.
Was at this point, was it when legionnaires, when they had the big shields? Not legionnaires. What am I talking about? The big shields and spears.
The big shields.
What am I thinking of?
I know what the shield is the scutum, I believe.
Yes, the square one. What are they called? Like those soldiers.
Scutum, I think. Oh, is that the plate armor? Oh, the soldiers? Oh, I don't recall.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Like that type of soldier. Were they at this time?
They would evolve from what they had now. What they're using now, they're similar, big, long, oval shields with spears. But later on, they would get a sword, a javelin, and then the square shield you think of when you think of Roman.
But I feel like the historical context would be, again, they're incredibly well-trained, disciplined.
Yeah,
they're
right.
led by what history considers an absolute mastermind of leadership, which
Exactly right.
is how history considers it. I don't know.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Caesar was a good general.
Yes, very, very, very talented general. Disciplined soldiers that will listen to him, and they've run these drills enough to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
And they've been,
you can argue for your side if you like.
they've been doing this conquest thing for the past 300 years now. Something like 200, 300 years. They've been doing it for a while. While the Gauls, they're not necessarily upstarts, but they're the locals. However far they spread is however big they got in Britain, which is not a big space overall. They've not done this as much.
Right. Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like they're similarly outfitted when it comes to armor. I can't tell if these guys are wearing helmets or
I
not.
think they're wearing animal hoods.
Yeah, so they've got metal armor. They've got shoulder pads. From what I can see, they're both wearing greaves.
Yeah.
If you compare the armor of the leaders, he's got full chest plate. He's got the metal skirt. He's got the cool looking helmet though. So the cool looking helmet.
That's hats are give you a bonus, but basically, that's correct.
And
My
he has
logic
the
was
freaky looking shirt that I absolutely love. I think it's great.
my logic was like I said, the Romans have fewer numbers but are more disciplined and better equipped. Gauls, greater numbers, not as disciplined, not as equipped. So that was the logic.
So we spent about 5 minutes reaching that point.
So
I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. Different levels.
We spent about 5 minutes working
details.
that.
Oh, I think that was longer than 5 minutes.
Oh yes.
We can check that later.
The magic of editing.
Yeah, you just fade to black
Yeah.
and be like, they went on to discuss this for 10 minutes.
We'll do the, you always have to do the SpongeBob thing.
10 minutes
10
later,
minutes later.
you got the two history majors that are yappers to play the game
No, that's
together.
fine. That's fine. So, any final thoughts?
I enjoy this game. It's detailed enough to be interesting without it being complicated.
Yeah.
And it kind of strikes that balance of it's engaging, it's fun, but it doesn't take you 50 years to learn how to play it.
Yeah.
Like Votes for Women did.
That's a great game, but that is a complex.
Oh my gosh, that took.
Or Axis and Allies.
Oh.
See, I'm in this weird place because as a war gamer, I love an overbearing, complex, clanky system, but I understand that is not most people.
No, you are the outlier.
I'm the old person wearing the weird stuff, but I can appreciate what this is. Yeah.
It's simple enough that once it's explained, a group of students can break off into many little groups and do it independently, and they can be trusted to actually understand. It's material-wise, I feel like very simple to print out. Like you could do this with a regular printer as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You don't have to have.
You can honestly probably print. Yeah, you can print if you arrange it better than I did.
It's just like they could go on one sheet of paper. They could go on one sheet of paper. Yeah.
It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 counting victory counters. That would be.
Oh right. Yep.
Yeah. So 3.5 sheets of paper for the board.
Mm-hmm.
You just need some dice, and you don't necessarily need a dice tray. I recommend one because people love to very enthusiastically roll things, but. It's material-wise, it's not overwhelming, it's simple, it's fun, it's aesthetically pleasing. I love looking at this picture because it's interesting to me. Yeah. I can't get over Vercingetorix outfits. One of my favorites.
Stylish name.
Oh, yes. And I feel like it being interesting is one of, funnily enough, the more important aspects of a history game because it needs to keep the attention. We're history nerds, we're going to enjoy a history game. But unfortunately, if you look at the general public of students, whether it's middle, high school, or college, not everyone enjoys learning about history. So it being interesting is really important for not only learning, but retaining that knowledge.
Go ahead, Solomon, your final thoughts? I'm glad to hear that. Great.
Honestly, not have much to add other than talking about components. The other thing is that, especially if you're willing to get these kind of dice from Amazon, whatever. Even the dice are not that expensive. Right. You get a stack of dice for $10.
Oh, my mom.
Depends on what kind of dice.
Quick intersection. My mom a couple years ago bought a pound of dice off of Amazon.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. The Chess X bag of dice.
Yes, exactly. It was what, $20?
It's $20. You get a bag of just whatever Chess X has in the back. They put it in the bag. It's great.
The funny part is she individually wrapped each die and put them in my stocking for Christmas. So I just spent like an hour unwrapping each die, and she said it was worth it. She was like, her fingers were cramped up from wrapping each one, but it was worth it. It took me twice as long.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's affordable, especially that as well for a teacher.
Yeah.
But
if anything, we all know that teachers aren't that well. Teachers don't have a lot of budget to go around.
Sure.
They got to make a stretch.
In gaming history and in your classes in general, this was one of the ones that I remembered.
Okay.
Not only because it was fun, but the fact that I just, while we're in receiving instructions, I just got to stare at this picture and I thought it was interesting and that made it retain the night.
Wikimedia Commons is great.
Yeah, especially if someone's trying to make their own game, because if you're trying to make your own game, Wikimedia Commons is a quick and easy solution. Yeah, both their shields are like on the bottom there.
This may be a bit of a stupid question, and you can edit this out. Was there a time where the two leaders met like this, or is this just an artistic?
Like, no, I think that is showing Vercingetorix rendering.
Oh,
so I think they did.
Yes, that makes sense.
It is in person, but of course, then they
took him away.
I think when he paraded, as a prisoner, I think that was for Caesar's triumph.
Yes.
So he
I was just trying to think of. They're all just kind of casually leaning. Like this guy is just kind of casually leaning back. I was just
tired from the battle.
Oh yeah, that is true.
They're
remarkably clean if they just came out of the battle. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
They touched up the photo.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you both.
Good game.
Did you?